Life, yeah, life, yeah. If you want success, it's not easy, yeah. You get for work from 7 to 5, just forget the daily bread, just to make it survive. Ta open it, ta open it, ta open it, more, ta open it, ta open it, ta open it, ta open it, more, ta open it. There are funny, funny things about life. Your hack, you should be sharper than knife. Believe in yourself and nature will provide, cause once I go this suffer, I must survive. There are funny, funny things about life. Your hack, you should be sharper than knife. Believe in yourself and nature will provide, cause once I go this suffer, I must survive. Respect my hustle. Hey, my hustle. I go respect your hustle. My hustle. Life, yeah, life, yeah. If you want success, it's not easy, yeah. You get for work from 7 to 5, just forget your daily bread, just to make you survive. Life, yeah, life, yeah. If you want success, it's not easy, yeah. You get for work from 7 to 5, just forget your daily bread, just to make you survive. Ta open it, ta open it, ta open it, more, ta open it, ta open it, ta open it, ta open it, more, ta open it. Life, yeah, life not easy at all, oh, yeah. Mama they vex, Papa no they push up money. Life, yeah, life not easy at all, oh, yeah. Mama they vex, Papa no they push up money. Respect my hustle. Hey, my hustle. I go respect your hustle. My hustle. Life, yeah, life, yeah. If you want success, it's not easy, yeah. You get for work from 7 to 5, just forget your daily bread, just to make you survive. Life, yeah, life, yeah. If you want success, it's not easy, yeah. You get for work from 7 to 5, just forget your daily bread, just to make you survive. Ta open it, ta open it, ta open it, more, ta open it, ta open it, ta open it, ta open it, more, ta open it.
Thank you, Lord, for all you have done. Thank you, Jesus, for all you will do. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, God. Thank you, Lord, for all you have done. Thank you, Jesus, for all you will do. Thank you for loving me. Thank you for saving me. Thank you for caring. Thank you, Lord. Thank you for loving me. Thank you for saving me. Thank you for caring. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Jehovah God. Thank you, El Shaddai God. Thank you, my Papa God. Thank you, Lord. Thank you for blessing. Thank you, Lord, for all you have done. Thank you, Jesus, for all you will do. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, God. Thank you, Lord, for all you have done. Thank you, Jesus, for all you will do. Thank you for loving me. Thank you for saving me. Thank you for caring. Thank you, Lord. Thank you for loving me. Thank you for saving me. Thank you for caring. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Jehovah God. Thank you, El Shaddai God. Thank you, my Papa God. Thank you, Lord. Thank you for blessing. Thank you, Lord, for all you have done. Thank you, Jesus, for all you will do. Thank you,
having credit problems, I feel bad for you, son. 1,000 problems, but a car rank 1. Wheels for sure, got me back in the car. Leasing with my credit, I was like, man, forget it. Who would've thought I'd be accepted and more? But now I got the keys, I feel so pleased. All types of cars, Fiats, Minis, Renaults, you know, boom, boom, let's go. Wheels for sure, car leasing for every credit score.
So Nikki, you're a winner.
Yeah, I've won 3 times now.
Wow, is that all through Lifestyle Bids, right?
That's right. So first I won the Music Awards, which was in London. Then I won the boxing match, which was in Cardiff. All I had to do was bid 83 pence for that. And then the music festival, which was in California.
And the private jet?
Yeah, maybe 3 mates won that too.
So I think it's definitely safe to say that Lifestyle Bids works for you.
Oh yeah, Lifestyle Bids definitely works for me.
So don't just dream it, bid it. Go to lifestylebids.com and let the adventure begin.
Famous to all the baby where them woke me at, where don't make me feel like say I'm not man enough, I no get nothing for offer. To all the party when look down on me, where don't make me feel like say my life no go become something, yeah. And they walked away. All the people who promise for help me, they take all my fees today, tomorrow, next tomorrow. The story not just the same, but I refuse to give up. I kept on hoping, I kept believing. Now everything don't change.
Family United presents Dinner and Dance, the return of Sekoba Bambino. On the 30th of November 2019 at the Royal Regency Banquet and Suite, 501 High Street North, Manor Park, London, E126TH for just £50. Artists performing on the night will be Colin Spratt, Lollipop, Aisha C, Alonzo, and Firewoods. DJs are going to be DJ Nito, MC Costo, MC Alan Smith, and MC Isatta Sisay-Jalloh. For more information, contact the numbers now showing on your screen. Music by Nubia Knight. Don't forget to join Family United on the 30th of November 2019 at the Royal Regency Hall. Be there. Family United presents Dinner and Dance, the return of Sekoba Bambino. On the 30th of November 2019 at the Royal Regency Banquet and Suite, 501 High Street North, Manor Park, London, E126TH for just £50. Artists performing on the night will be Colin Spratt, Lollipop, Aisha C, Alonzo, and Firewoods. DJs are going to be DJ Nito, MC Costo, MC Alan Smith, and MC Isatta Sisay-Jalloh. For more information, contact the numbers now showing on your screen. Music by Nubian Night. Don't forget to join Family United on the 30th of November 2019 at the Royal Regency Hall. Be there. Family United presents Dinner and Dance, the return of Sekoba Bambino. On the 30th of November 2019 at the Royal Regency Banquet and Suite, 501 High Street, North Manor Park, London, E126TH. For just £50, artists performing on the night will be Colin Spratt, Lollipop, Aisha C, Alonzo, and Fireworks. DJs are going to be DJ Nito, MC Costo, MC Alan Smith, and MC Isatta Sisay-Jalloh. For more information, contact the numbers now showing on your screen. Music by Nubian Night. Don't forget to join Family United on the 30th of November 2019 at the Royal Regency Hall. Be there.
Hello, 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 hello. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. And prostate cancer, because this month is November, as in November, and it's all about moving men's health forward. We're going to pay attention to the men this month, because you know, say most times they can say, oh, all thing about we woman. No, this month is going to be about the men. So today we're going to talk about prostate and prostate cancer and some of the other things that can go wrong with the prostate. And then next week we will talk about something again relating to men, but also to women as well, because what I've got in mind for next week is probably it's a unisex thing. So welcome. Please feel free to phone. The lines are open anytime if you want to share your experience on 07946 141 369. Or just drop us a comment. Please share. This is very educative, and like I always say, I am not an expert, but I am a specialist in cancer care, and so I think I find myself best placed to do some of these programs. Okay, so today we're going to talk about the prostate. I'll be swinging in and out of English and Creole for Mama Salon people there as well, that they understand and everything. So, waiting at the prostate, you know, the prostate is basically a gland. A gland which is usually the size and shape of kind of like kola nut, you know, the shape of kola nut, not big kola nut too, but like medium sized kola nut. That's what the prostate gland looks like. And as you get older, it gets bigger. So I get a little quiz now for people then. For those of you who are listening, let me see if you would know. Where do we find the prostate? Where do we find the prostate? So that's a question. I'm just going to type that up as well. Where do we find the prostate? I'm waiting. Aha. Welcome. I've got more people on. Welcome, everybody. Where do we find the prostate? Lots of gentlemen as well are on. So, where do we find the prostate? So, be thinking about where we find the prostate, and also think about what's the main job of the prostate, and also who has a prostate. Where do we find the prostate? What's the main job of the prostate? And who has a prostate? Okay, let's think about that and see what you come up with. That's what me I'm going to do this job when I get for help. You know, when I get for help, I need answers. Woman, who has a prostate? Where can you find the prostate? And what's the main role of the prostate? Okay. Right. So, okay. Let's carry on. So like I said, the prostate is a gland, and it's the size of like a kola nut. And as you grow older, it grows bigger, and it sits underneath the bladder and surrounds the urethra. Producer, if you put a picture for me of an image of the prostate. So if you look on your screen right now, you will not see me, but you see an image that clearly shows you where the prostate is. It sits underneath the bladder and around the urethra. And as you can see from the labeling, next to the prostate, you've got the anus. So if you just kind of visualize where it is, it's a bit easy to tell. Okay, so it surrounds the urethra. The urethra is that long kind of thread or rope that you see that goes round and round and round. It goes round from the testis, and then it goes all the way around, all the way down to, and then comes into the penis. And then you've got the vas deferens and so forth. So it's very, very important to know what you're looking for and to visualize it where it is. Okay, so the urethra obviously is the tube which carries your urine, which is basically you piss. The urethra is responsible for carrying down there through to the penis from the bladder, and then you piss. Okay, and I think I've already given away one of the questions, as in who has a prostate. But let's see if people can just answer. But nobody has answered so far. But the following people have prostate. So men have prostate. Trans women have prostate. Thank you, Henzo. Yes, prostate is found in men only, but also in trans women. So men who used to be men, who biologically they were born as men, and they've decided to do sex change and change to a woman. Even though they change to a woman, they still have a prostate. So for us in the medical or healthcare profession, we always have to be mindful of that, because some of these transgender people, when they come, they are so convincing. You see a man that's trans changed to a woman, and you will be convinced that they're women. So it's, for us, it's very, very important we ask these questions and know who has prostate. So you'll have a man, and then trans women as well also have prostate. And very rarely you have people like the non-binary people who were assigned male at birth, and then some intersex people. Okay, so those are the people who have prostate. All right, and so then we move on to what are some of the most common things about the prostate. Now, a lot of people think, I know we're talking about just prostate. We are talking about the fact that we say, okay, prostate cancer. And however, the prostate also has other issues that might go wrong with it rather than just prostate cancer. And so some of the most common problems that you can have with the prostate, including prostate cancer, would be enlarged prostate as well as prostatitis. Now, enlarged prostate is very, very common in men that are over 50 years old or about 50 years of age. So a lot of men that I see around have hit 50. So you have to be mindful and be thinking about some of these things. So you'll find it in men that are about that age, but not all men who have this enlarged prostate would have symptoms that are quite noticeable. And as the prostate grows, it can then press on the outside of the urethra, which then causes the urethra, which is that tube, to be narrow. And then this can slow down sometimes the frequency of your urine, so, or the flow where they pass urine, where they pass water, as we can say it locally, it slow that frequency down. That's because the prostate don't grow more than the size where it's supposed to be. For example, it's supposed to be like the size of a cola nut. Then it don't grow, it don't become like the size of, like, let's say, a golf ball. Obviously, they put pressure on some of the other things that they are around, which most importantly is the urethra. So then they can cause a bit of problem there in terms of the flow of the urine. And of course, in age-wise, like I said, it's really common in men that are 50 and above. And it's usually 1 in 3 men that can have that. And so we are not immune. Consider yourself to be 1 in those 3 men. I know people can always say, oh, push away, it's not my portion, God forbid. But hey, just check yourself. The whole purpose of this is to raise awareness so you can check yourself and make sure you're doing the right thing. And so what causes this enlarged prostate? Well, still there's really no evidence as to what really truly causes the prostate to grow and be enlarged. However, there are certain risk factors that come with it, and the first one is what I just said. It was age. As you grow older, naturally the prostate grows, and so it becomes enlarged, and that's what affects a lot of people in their age. I mean, this one, there's a lot of evidence from pathology wherein they've done autopsies on men who are 65 and above who died naturally or even not from prostate cancer or other prostate issues, but they did a bit of research and then they found out a lot of men that are over the age of 60, 65 tend to have an enlarged prostate. And like I say, sometimes it's asymptomatic, which we mean you don't experience any symptoms with it. You just go on with your normal life without even realizing you've got such problems. And also the other thing that is a risk factor is hormonal levels. The balance in your hormones, your estrogen and your testosterone. Mostly, like I always say to people when we talked about breast cancer, sometimes people are shocked that women also have testosterone. Yes, the same. Men also have estrogen. But there is a balance. There is the biology about it, which then changes as you get older, and then it causes the prostate to grow more. So that is where the problem comes. And so those are the key 2 risk factors. However, there's quite a lot of other risk factors that you need to look into and research about. Like I said, this program is only to tease you, kind of give you just a bit of introduction into some of these issues, and to prompt you to go look for more information, but also hopefully to prompt you to recognize any symptoms you might be experiencing and thought nothing of. Okay, so what the one of the other things that affects the prostate is this prostatitis. So prostatitis is basically inflammation of the prostate, which is primarily caused by bacteria infection. Okay, and one of them is that chronic pelvic pain syndrome, which is a common type of prostatitis, and it can go on for a long time without you noticing it, and that or with you noticing it and going through the symptoms. That is why it's called chronic. Chronic is basically anything that goes on or lingers for a very long time, and so it then really causes you things like pain around the pelvic area, and nobody is certain in terms of what are the causes of this CPPS, which is chronic pelvic pain syndrome. Nobody is sure what's really the cause of it, but again, there's lots of potential causes of it, which makes it difficult to diagnose and treat, and it can cause it can include the urine getting into the prostate gland, and which is caused by an keep sending you for lots and lots of tests. Somebody just do they have oncologists in Sierra Leone? Fatima Ba, I think they have one at the moment who is a specialist. I think he's a Nigerian, as far as I'm aware. Crimelda, I think you were on. I think please confirm that. We do have a surgeon who specializes in oncology. So basically anything to do with surgery that is cancer related, he would do that surgery to some extent. But in terms of on oncologists, we don't have many. Now, if a patient is having symptoms, what is the next step? In Sierra Leone, the next step is for you to go see a general physician. If you have a doctor, go there. If you don't, go to the government hospitals in your local town, or if you're in Freetown, go to Connaught Hospital, or I think there's this other place they call Emergency up Western End. Go there and seek further advice, and then they'll signpost you. Or if you're in doubt, you're not sure, and you go to Thinking Pink. Thinking Pink are downtown, and they would speak to you and signpost you as well. So it's very important that you pick up on these symptoms. So thank you very much for that, Fatima. I hope that was informative for you. So this, going back to this CPPS, this chronic pelvic pain syndrome, again, it's something that some men would experience in their lifetime. So they have to be mindful of it. There's no single test to diagnosis. But what the doctor will do, they'll do an elimination process. So they'll test and test and test different things for the different things until they can eliminate it. And they will decide on the treatment depending on who you are and what are your other issues. So the most important thing with a lot of these kind of infections, a lot of fluid intake is very, very important. So if you're drinking lots of fluid, especially water is very, very important, because some of these infections that sit in the bladder or the urethra, if you drink a lot, you have a better chance of flushing them out. The other type of prostatitis you will get is called the acute bacterial prostatitis, which I think when you get it, you will know straight away that you have it, because it's called acute and you develop the symptoms very, very quickly. It is not common, but it can become a very serious infection. So be mindful. And just like every other infection, it might cause you high temperature, sweating, and that needs to be treated straight away in hospital. You need to be on antibiotics and all sorts. So it's very, very important you take these signs and symptoms seriously for these issues with prostate. And not just the men, but us the women around the men. Pay attention, keep an eye on them, know what's wrong and what's not wrong. I don't understand the purpose of the show if there is no follow-up topics discussed. The country is not equipped with specialists to take care of these diseases. So educating the people, and let's say they have symptoms, will cause more stress to them. I think, Fatima, that's very, very subjective. And I respect your opinion. However, I think the whole purpose of these programs is health education and health promotion. If you know what are your risk factors of certain illnesses, then hopefully you'll try and avoid it. Unfortunately, if you've already acquired the disease and you're presenting with symptoms, then it helps for you to know what you're dealing with, and then maybe psychologically you can deal with it better. We will not write off everybody in Sierra Leone in terms that these treatments are not available. Yes, there is limited amount of treatment available, but there is treatment available. Lots of people are being supported. Lots of people are being treated. And that, again, is the purpose of some of these programs, so that we can signpost you. As we speak, we are treating lots and lots of ladies with breast cancer in Sierra Leone. So there is treatment. So let's try to be positive, and let's try to see whatever little difference we can make in whatever shape or form. So thank you very much for your opinion. I hope this will help. We're not here to cause any further distress for anyone, but at the same time, it's important to know what's wrong with you, rather than you thinking it is something that's caused by your next door neighbor, or by you mate, or by you step pikin, or you step mama, or that woman man where you don't go keep, or whatever. It is very important you understand what's happening to you, and then you can deal with it better. Okay, so let's move on to some of the signs and symptoms of this enlarged prostate. Like I said earlier on, it gives you a weak flow when you're urinating. When you pass urine, it weakens the flow, so it not go as fast as it should. And then sometimes you feel like, say, you need for empty your bladder a bit more. So you you pass urine, but then a few minutes later you feel like you still want to go. So those are some of the things. And then also difficulty starting for pass the urine in the first place. You go to map day, you dey feel for pass the urine, but the urine no dey come out. And then when it dey come out, it dey dribble rather than it come out in a very good flow. It dey dribble and pip like where you hot a lock pump, but you not lock them properly. There they drip pip. Now so they happen. And like I say, you dey need for urinate more often, because you feel say you not empty your bladder, or at night time you dey actually go urinate a lot. Now the reason why it good for go check some of their symptoms there, because their symptoms, they are very similar to other illnesses. For example, diabetes. Diabetes, again, now one of the ways that you go know say you get diabetes, because you get night sweats, and then you also they pass urine quite frequently. So that is why it's very important. So Fatima, even though we don't have treatment for all these things, but at least there are plenty of treatment being available for people in our Mama Salon. But also, this is not just for the Mama Salon, it's also for us here in the diaspora. We self need this education, we self need this attention. Okay, so like I said earlier on, you might not get any symptoms with some of these issues with a large prostate, which can be caused by prostatitis or so on and so forth. And the most important thing here, prostatitis is not prostate cancer. Okay, it's just another problem that you get with the prostate, and a lot of men get it. And also it is not the same as having an enlarged prostate. An enlarged prostate, just to repeat myself, is when the size of the prostate is grown. And then for prostatitis is infection of the prostate. Okay, so that is what it's about. And like I said, you can have either acute bacterial prostatitis, or you can get chronic bacterial prostatitis, which you can treat accordingly by going to your doctor. And again, like I say, sometimes you have none of these symptoms we talk about, and it just goes on and on and on until it gets really bad before you notice. Or when you're over the age of 40, 45 in this country, in the diaspora, you then start having health checks. And then for men, they'll start probably testing a marker which is called the PSA, which is the prostate specific antigen, which is a protein that is produced by the prostate, and it can tell how active the prostate is, and that is found in the blood. So that test is a very good test that tells what is going on in the prostate. So like we said, who has the prostate? The prostate, only a man has a prostate, or someone who has done a transgender. So someone who was born as a man but then decided to turn and change their sex to becoming a woman, so they have prostate. Okay, so let's move on now to prostate cancer. We've talked about the prostate in general. Let's move on now to prostate cancer, because like I said, this is November. We're talking about men's health and how best we can educate one another and support one another, so that if we do pick up some of these symptoms, we know where to go. We can recognize them in order to pick them up, and also we can understand what it's all about and what is available there. So prostate cancer, like any other cancer, is wherein our own cells go rogue. So basically, the cells in our body has a traffic light system where they're supposed to be regulated, where they should stop, ready to go, and go, wherein they're programmed how many times they should divide in every hour or 24 hours, and so on and so forth. But then what happens when a cell goes rogue? They then decide to just keep multiplying and multiplying more than they're supposed to multiply. So that's how every cancer develops. So that is no different from what happens in prostate cancer. So prostate cancer is basically within the prostate gland, the cells that are there, they decide to go rogue. So rather than, let's say, they should do cell division, which is, man and woman meet up, then born, then split. Then no, they do that. Then they do if they're supposed to do once a day, they will do it 3, 4, 5 times a day, which means they become over capacitated. So then it becomes something that of a worry. And also with the prostate, because it's such a small gland, and because it's sitting where it's so comfortable, sometimes these cells can go rogue, but they can take their time and they can do it very slowly. They go rogue very slowly, and for a very long time they will not cause any problem. And for some people, they will not notice any problem until they die of either something, or they just die naturally, as they should, because we all know death is not is inevitable. So many men never need to have treatment for prostate cancer or enlarged prostate, because they don't even know it's there. But for some men, it grows very quickly. Once these cells have gone rogue, it grows very quickly, and it's more likely to spread. And one of the places it spreads to is the bones. For some people, they don't even realize that they've got prostate cancer. It's only when it goes to the bone where they have other symptoms, then they're rushed to hospital. Then they realize, the root of this cancer is from the prostate. So for some people, that's just bad luck. But for some, they pick it up very quickly. And if it is picked up very quickly, they can treat it and stop it from spreading. Lots of people have prostate cancer that's been treated. So it can be contained inside the prostate if it's treated quickly. So that is why it's very important to look at some of these signs and symptoms and make sure you check them out. So who is at risk? So in the UK, about 1 in 8 men will get prostate cancer in their lifetime. And it usually affects men who are over 50. However, I have seen younger men have it as well. But so it just, as you increase in age, a lot of these illnesses and cancers, your risk is increased. And your risk is even higher as a black man. So if you're a black man, you're higher risk of having prostate cancer compared to a white Caucasian. Also, if you have a family history of prostate cancer. So again, if your father or your uncle or so on and so forth had prostate cancer, it's very important for you to keep checking yourself and being mindful of that. So watch the space. So in and across the UK, it's basically prostate cancer is the most common cancer in men. And more than 47,000 men have been diagnosed with prostate cancer every year. Can you imagine? 47,500 men are being diagnosed with prostate cancer every year, which means 129 men every day. Every day, 129 men are being diagnosed. Every 45 minutes, 1 man dies from prostate cancer. And that's more than 11,500 men every year. And 1 in 8 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer in their lifetime. And then around 400,000 men are living with and after prostate cancer. So it's still work in progress, but they're doing quite a lot of work. So that is why when you do see these charity organizations doing fundraising, please dip in your pocket and give something towards research and treatment and support and so on and so forth. So that is a figure that we should think about. Now in Sierra Leone, that is also quite high. I do not have right now. I think I have. Let me check. I do have the figures for Sierra Leone as well. I will bring it up soon for you. But it's also quite high in Sierra Leone. So we have to be mindful of that and be checking ourselves and see what we can do about it. So yes, in prostate cancer, you're looking about 390 people were diagnosed of prostate cancer. 390 people were diagnosed of prostate cancer in 2018. That's just diagnosed. That's unlike, we don't know how many people had it that did not make it to hospital. This is just information from Globalcan, and this is just for people, I would assume, who live in Freetown or in the urban areas, but not really a true reflection of the country as a whole. So still, that's a big number compared to our 7+ million of population and all the other different cancers. So it is quite a big number. And so again, the risks are the same. The age, the older you get, the more at risk you are to develop this prostate cancer or enlarged prostate and prostatitis. And also your family history. If your family, it's always important back home. People don't really know what their family members die of. The people they're not waiting, their papa then, their mama then, and grandpa then die of. In the diaspora, those are one of the first questions they'll ask you when you go for screening or when you go to any doctor. They go ask you, say, tell us what your mother died of, tell us what your father died of, or tell us what illnesses they have if they're still alive. So it's very, very important for us to look at that. And people ask the question, is prostate cancer hereditary? if people in your family have had breast cancer or prostate cancer, it might increase your own risk, because there's a specific gene those two types of cancers carry that can be passed on from one generation to another. So it's very, very important. These specific faulty genes, you can inherit them. They're called the BRCA1 and 2. So it's very important you are mindful of that. So if, as a man, your mother has had breast cancer, you have to be wary and be mindful. I'm not trying to scare you off. I'm not saying every breast cancer you might lead to prostate cancer. It depends if they carry a specific faulty gene that is called the BRCA1 and 2 genes. So watch this space for that. So somebody asked a question and said, my father had prostate cancer. What are my risks? So your father had prostate cancer. What are your risks? So as a man, you are 2.5 times more likely to get prostate cancer if your father or brother had it, compared to a man who has no relatives with prostate cancer. Your chances of getting prostate cancer may be even greater if your father or brother was under 60. So if they had their prostate cancer when they were under 60, it increases your chances of getting it. And if you have more than one close relative, for example, your father and brother with prostate cancer, then again that increases your risk. Your risk of prostate cancer might also be higher if your mother or sister had breast cancer. So again, like I said earlier on, it is not just, these are specific faulty genes that can be passed on from one generation to another. So be very mindful, be very cautious, and know what you're looking for. So although it can run in families, having a family history doesn't mean you will get it. I don't want people to start panicking and saying, oh, my mama be get breast cancer, or my sister don't get breast cancer, so maybe myself they get prostate cancer. No, it doesn't mean you would have it. It just means it puts you at a higher level of risk, you know, and it's important for you to talk to your GP about it so that they could be doing some of these routine checks, etc., to make sure you are fine. You know, do you have a family history of prostate cancer? If you have a family history of prostate cancer where your mother had breast cancer, your sister had breast cancer, either or your father had prostate cancer, or a brother of yours has had prostate cancer, either or, then you're over 45, then you need to mention that to your GP, and you need to be checking yourself very regularly. And also, last but not the least, black men are at even higher risk than white Caucasian. You're more likely, our black brothers are more likely to get prostate cancer than other non-black men. And we don't know why. There's still quite a lot of research that is going on. But in the UK, 1 in 4 black men will get prostate cancer in their lifetime. That's quite a big number. You know, 1 in 4 black men, that's quite a big number. So if you are of mixed black ethnicity, let's say, you know, you papa na be white, Caucasian, then you mama na black, or you papa na black, then you mama na white, you're likely also to be a higher risk of prostate cancer than somebody who is completely white. But we don't know exactly how high your risk is compared to the complete black person, because there's still a lot of research going on that they're looking into to try and pin down some of these issues and some of these risks and some of these causes. Because if they're not waiting at the problem, then they're going to deal with them better and treat them and even try for prevent them and avoid them. So it is very, very important. Is being overweight a risk factor? I would say being overweight is a risk factor for many illnesses and diseases, my dear sister Nima. That goes without saying. Overweight is not really a good thing. So it's very important with various illnesses and diseases. Overweight puts you at a higher risk. And then you have people ask the question, can prostate cancer be prevented? No one knows how to prevent a lot of these diseases. including prostate cancer. And again, that's why organizations such as Prostate Cancer UK, Cancer Research UK, and all other parts of the world, the research that is going on about cancer, these are the reasons why they're putting so much resources and money, because they want to be able to find out really what are the causes and how they can prevent them. But like my sister is asking there, a healthy lifestyle may be very important, which means not to be overweight. Body weight is very important. Being overweight may increase your risk of being diagnosed with prostate cancer that is aggressive and more likely to spread, or advanced cancer that has spread outside the prostate. Eating healthily and keeping active can help you stay in a healthy weight. You know, one of a young lady on Facebook today, actually I saw a post from her. She's called Isatta Sisay. She's also a decorator. She's very active. She's always doing exercises and running. And today one of her statement was, exercise is not just about losing weight. It's about keeping yourself fit and active, and it helps to prevent lots of diseases. And that is so true. Exercise is not just for you to lose weight. It's about also trying to prevent a lot of illnesses or avoiding a lot of illnesses. So that is why, if you do have time, if you do have opportunity, every other Saturday of the month, come and join us at Borges Park at 10 o'clock with Countdown. We will do some exercise with my brothers, DJ Ish and DJ Little, and the Vamba, who is our fitness instructor. Come, let's do a bit of exercise. I started last week, Saturday. It was painful because I can't remember the last time I did any exercise, but believe you me, I reaped the benefits straight away. A few hours later, I slept better this week. Yes, I was in aches and pains, but it made a lot of difference to me, not just physically, but mentally as well. So it's very important. So watch this space. So again, we're talking about the prostate. Who has the prostate? Only men have the prostate, or transgender have a prostate. So somebody who was born a man but decided to change to a woman will have a prostate. Where is the prostate? The prostate is basically, you find it underneath the bladder, and it sits itself around the urethra. And what does it do? The main job of the prostate is to make semen, which we also call sperm, the fluid that carries the sperm. So it doesn't make sperm, sorry. It makes the fluid, which is called semen, that carries the sperm cells through the penis via the urethra into wherever they need to go. So that is the prostate. Again, just a recap for people who are just joining in. And so we move on now. We've spoken about, you know, some of the issues with body weight. We move on now to treatment, because like I said, there's plenty treatment options for prostate cancer. We're just going to talk about few of them, but there's so many depending on the stage of your prostate cancer and what other health problems you've got as well. Because sometimes people think, oh, Joseph get prostate cancer, me self get them. But why make them give Joseph this treatment, me and not give me this treatment? You also have to think, what other health problems you have that Joseph not have? What are some of the problems? For example, if you get diabetes, Joseph you not get. Joseph, you get heart problem, Joseph not get. Joseph in treatment options will be far more better than yours, because some of these treatments have side effects. And if you already have other serious health problems, they have to be mindful not to cause any problems. So one of the key things they do mostly with prostate cancer, especially if it's a slow growing one, they don't do anything as an invasive treatment. When they diagnose them, they do something where they call active surveillance. Active surveillance is basically where they actively monitor this slow growing prostate cancer rather than treating it straight away. And what they do, they aim to delay unnecessary treatment and its side effects. That's the whole point. Because sometimes it might not even grow to the point where it becomes symptomatic or where it becomes a problem in your lifetime. So that is why they use active surveillance. And some of the things, some of the tests they will do, again, is this prostate specific antigen. They call it PSA levels, which is basically the protein that is produced by the prostate that it releases, and you can find it in the blood. And depending on how high it is, that would say how active the prostate is, which means rogue cells are in there and making it more active than it should, you know. So a normal PSA level should be within 2 digits, but if it starts going 3 digits and higher, then it's a bit of a concern. So another strategy back where they can use non-invasive strategy is watchful waiting. Watchful waiting is basically where it's another way of active surveillance where they just monitor, they keep an eye on the prostate and then just try and avoid treatment. So Haja Mari says, where are all the men that should be tuning in? Come on, guys. I know. Well, they expect the women to tune in. Well, we've got a few men here. We've got Abubakar, golfer. Well done. We've got who else have we got that is a man? It's all the late. We've got Daddy Kome. We've got Alusain McFoy. We've got Amadou Timbo. We've got Henzo. We've got IB Banks. We've got quite a few men. We would love to have more. We've got Gasimuja. Yes, I mean, Ahmed Raptus. I mean, this is the problem, isn't it? We all think it will never happen to us. The thing about ill health and any bad issues, we all think it will never happen to us. It's always should happen to somebody else because, oh, no, not we. God love us. It's not going to happen to us. But, well, reality check. We're all susceptible to any of these illnesses and diseases. Like it's clearly shown in evidence and research, 1 in 4 men would have it. So if 4 of you men stand somewhere, 1 out of the 4 of you will be diagnosed of prostate cancer in your lifetime. So that's no qualms about it. So active surveillance, watchful waiting, where they do nothing, but they just seriously keep an eye on what's going on and keep observing the prostate. And then if they feel they need to do something, sometimes the first choice of treatment will be surgery, where they'll do a radical prostatectomy. It's basically they remove the prostate, which is the same as what they'll do with a woman who's got breast cancer, where they'll do a mastectomy. So they remove the breast. So this is what they'll do. They will remove the prostate cancer from this person. And then another treatment is external beam radiotherapy, where you get radiation directed within the prostate area to see how best they can kill these cancer cells and shrink them. Or they've got the other type of radiation, which is brachytherapy, which is basically implanting seeds into the prostate, which are radioactive, to try and kill off the cells. And when they do this, they implant them, just like for us women, when we do contraceptive, the implants, they implant these seeds into the prostate gland, and they then, it's called low dose rate brachytherapy, where they're constantly producing radiation that will be hitting and destroying these cancer cells for a period of time. And then they've also got hormonal therapy. Again, hormonal therapy is another way to block the hormones if it's active, because remember, we've got estrogen and testosterone for men. So sometimes if it's the hormones, if these cancer cells are feeding off these hormones, they can use hormonal therapy to block them off, and then ensure that they keep them under control. Or then they've got cryotherapy, where it involves very cold treatment, where they freeze and try and destroy the cancer cells. Basically, just like where you put mixed vegetable in a freezer, you freeze them. That's what they do. Or you put ice cube, you freeze them, they broke into pieces. That's what they do with cryotherapy. And of course, with the treatment options with hormonal therapy, they're quite a lot. And then they also have chemotherapy, which I know a lot of you are familiar with or have heard of. Again, that helps with treatment. And then some of these hormonal therapies, you've got various types, like the abiraterone, you've got the enzalutamide, and then you've got clinical trials when they've tried all of those, one or more of those, and it doesn't work, but they still think they want to give you a try and they're hopeful. They will put you on clinical trials, and sometimes this varies because you've got 3 phases of clinical trials. You've got phase 1, you've got phase 2, you've got phase 3. Phase 1 is basically it's just come from the lab. Phase 2, they've tested it a little bit. Phase 3 is about they're now getting data together to present to say that, okay, this actually does work with less side effects. So hopefully you would have one of those if all those other treatments have failed. And of course, again, it depends on the stage your prostate cancer is. This treatment is only depending on which stage your prostate cancer is. So it's very important to remember that. And of course, in stages where prostate cancer is advanced, the first place prostate cancer goes to when it decides to spread, it goes to your bones. And it affects your bones. It makes them very painful. It makes them very brittle, just like the similar issues you get with osteoporosis. So we then give something called bisphosphonate, which is a drug that is used to kind of hold your bones together to make sure it doesn't get brittle or broken very easily, and it relieves bony pain. So it's very, very important when you have some of these cancers, find out what the issues are, find out what the symptoms are, find out what treatment is available. Talk to your doctor. If you can't talk to your doctor, find someone you can talk to. I am readily available for anyone to talk to. A lot of people do consult me, and then I signpost them. You can contact me through Diaspora Voices or through my Facebook page or through Messenger. Please feel free and do what you have to do. So some of the side effects, now with some of these treatments, obviously there are side effects, okay? When you move on from having your prostate cancer, you've had your treatment, and then you say, oh, Papa got tanky, then you the all clear. Sometimes you get the all clear, but you then have side effects that stay with you. So side effects that stay with you when you're living with prostate cancer, which approximately 400,000 men in the UK are living with it. One of the key things it has an effect on is your sex and relationship. It affects your sex big time. And the reason why it affects your sex big time is because of where it is and where treatment is targeted. Remember, if we put up that picture again of where the prostate is, you would see it's part of this the reproductive system, and it's not far from your penis as a man. So how it affects you when they give you treatment, it sometimes damages the nerves and the blood vessels around that area that are needed for erection. So for a penis to be erected fully, it needs a good blood vessel circulation and nerves. But sometimes some of these treatment can actually damage that, and then it can reduce your erection. It can also reduce testosterone levels, your hormones that what gives you that desire to have sex and everything. It can affect that, and it can also sometimes affect the growth and size of your penis, and so it can make it shorter, and it can affect, your ejaculation as well, especially, you ejaculating but not ejaculating anything. But I also want people to realize that, especially men, as they grow older, their sex life also slows down. So it's very important to remember that. And that is why with some other issues and erectile dysfunctions, now you've got medications that will help with that you can now buy. You can now go to your chemist and talk to them, and then they'll triage you and make sure you've got no other contradictory health problems that will affect you. And I think a lot of people know about that medication. It's called Viagra. And so it's very important for people to be aware of that, because some of these treatments, whether it's radiotherapy, surgery, chemotherapy, and all sorts, they will cause erectile problems. They will cause shorter penis. They will cause you'll still have orgasm, but then you won't produce any semen, which means it puts you in an infertile position. Again, if you are of a childbearing age when you have prostate cancer and you still want to have a child, sometimes they'll do sperm banking before you start your treatment. So it's very important for you to be aware of all of that. It can also sometimes cause discomfort or pain when you're ejaculating. So it's very important to know that as well. And like I said, it does reduce your sex drive and just makes life a little bit uncomfortable for you. But again, like all of these things, if you know what you're dealing with, then you can deal with it better, and then you can seek help, because there is help available. There is information if you're gay or bisexual. There's information if you're heterosexual. There's information if you're living with advanced prostate cancer. There's information if you're living with cancer. There, and there's all sorts of exercise. Now, I bet you a lot of women are gonna say, oh, when you say pelvic floor, the first thing men think about is women, right? Now, men also need pelvic floor, because your pelvic floor muscles sit below your bladder and your bowels, and it supports and helps the control of when you urinate and you pass urine or empty your bowels. So it's very important to strengthen them, to exercise them, and make sure they are strong enough to control when you urinate and when you open your bowels. So it's not just for women, because I think there is this sexual connotation to pelvic floor and women that, oh, you have to do it because we've had babies, etc., etc. No, men also need it because it's a muscle that you can find in both man and woman. And also, you can seek help in terms of how to deal with your feelings, the emotional impact cancer has in general on you, because it's not just prostate. When you're diagnosed of cancer, it doesn't matter how tough you are, or how strong you are, or how resilient you are. It will turn your world upside down. It's how you move on from there, and how you then accept it, and then say to yourself, okay, I've got this monster that they call cancer. What am I going to do about it? Am I just going to sit back now and die because that's what I expect it to do, kill me? Or am I going to stand up, head up high, and speak to my specialist and say, what can I do? What is available for me? So those are the things you have to start thinking about. And also, look at your options. Do your research as well. As Africans, we don't like to do research. Do your research. Find out a bit more. Take a friend, take your partner to your consultation. Take a notebook. Write questions, so when you go, you can ask those questions, because most time, as soon as you go for your consultation, you're so overwhelmed. All the questions you've had in your mind, you completely forget about them. But if you've noted them down in a notebook, and you always take that notebook with you, A, you'll be able to ask those questions, but B, you'll be able to take note of some of the conversations that will be happening as well. So that when you go back home in your quiet moment, when you're ready to face that notebook again or face that thought, you can go to that notebook and read and revisit some of those comments and then put things into perspective. So it's very, very important for you to be able to do that and be able to deal with your feelings and stuff. Use your religion as a source of strength, not use your religion instead of treatment. A lot of people believe in miracles. Yes, miracles do exist from time to time, but I think you need to use both hand in hand. You use your religion and you use medical advice as well and support to get treatment and to give you the strength, the tenacity to go through what you're going through. I think it's very, very important. Seek help with any of the symptoms or side effects you'll be having from your cancer. Check out these groups, especially in the diaspora. There's a lot of organizational groups that are available that will support you free of charge. There's these support groups, there's these forums, so on and so forth. To name a few, you've got Prostate Cancer UK, you've got Breast Cancer Now, you've got Macmillan, you've got Cancer Research UK. You've got so many different organizations that can help you through what you're going through. Don't suffer in silence. And then, of course, for our brothers and sisters, them where they salon, I know say still there's limited services available when it comes to cancer treatment. However, we are moving on slowly but surely. You've got Well Woman Clinic, you've got Thinking Pink, you've got Shepherd's Hospice, you've got Connaught Hospital. Please try and link in with any of those and try and seek support. Because if you don't ask for help, you will not get help. Not long ago, a lady who had forgating breast cancer at Connaught Hospital called Hawa, I ended up, her picture ended up on my phone. And then I spoke to my sister who is in charge of Thinking Pig in Sierra Leone, Cremelda. Cremelda said, oh yes, I'm in contact with this lady, etc, etc, etc. So she needs treatment, but she can't afford it. Then I started fundraising, and I am so grateful. I was so shocked within 72 hours how much I raised. Up to this date, I think I have now raised almost £600. Now, I have sent off 500 or so pounds, which came up to just a little bit over £5 million. And guess what? With that 5 million, we've actually been able to offer this lady 3 cycles of chemotherapy. But what the caveat of it all is, another girl, young lady, who's also got breast cancer, who has been able to afford, I think 3 cycles of her treatment, but then she ran out of money for the 4th or 5th cycle. And then we've been able to top her up. And so she's also had her own treatment. You'll be amazed. I have a surprise for you. I'm just putting the videos together. My sister Cremilda sent me the videos where these ladies are saying thank you. And you'll be amazed if you compare the size of Hawa's breast 3 weeks ago and the size now. And even the way it's dressed now. It's amazing. It's phenomenal. I felt so good this morning. It was unbelievable. I woke up to that news this morning. I was like, hey, Papa God, thank you. Just hearing them say thank you. Just hearing that happiness, that joy in their voice. It goes a long way. So I really want to thank all of you who took the time to donate. £5, £10, £20, £30, you name it. It goes a long way and it makes a difference. I know we can't constantly do these things because we also have our own financial, personal commitments. But I think the £10, the £20 goes a long way. One of the things I'm going to try and pledge to do, I'm going to try from 2020 next year. I am so going to try and cut down on my shopping. When I mean shopping for material things, dresses, shoes, jewelry, I am going to cut down on that. And then I'm going to use that money to help people back home in Sierra Leone. Crimelda, who runs the CEO of Thinking Pink, she already has at least 400 ladies, women, on her database who are suffering from breast cancer. And they don't even have access to treatment. Not because treatment is not available. There is chemo available in Sierra Leone. There's an oncologist available. There's an oncology surgeon available. But they can't afford it. They can't afford it. Hungry no go dey pay you go buy medicine when at 800,000. That 800,000 go buy one bag rest wey go feed your family for at least a month, and buy all the other half thing there for cook for the plazas. So you see, people have to prioritize, and sometimes their health is less of a priority when it comes to feeding their children. So, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say thank you so much for joining on today to the health show. We will continue to talk about men's health. We will continue to talk about health generally. If you have questions, please note them down, text them to us, call us. You can call us. The line is open, 07946 141 Welcome, Mr. Weber. Welcome. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for everyone. We've got so many programs coming on. Next week is likely to be lung cancer, and then the following week it's going to be about empowerment and disability. But this week again, if you've been watching my Facebook page, this week has also been International Week for Stress, how to avoid stress, how to manage stress. So think about it, try and avoid what is unnecessary, and try to cut down on things that are causing you stress. Try and identify trigger factors and stay away from them. And then next week, it's going to be another week. We're going to talk about, I think next week, which awareness week is it? It's going to be, it will be anti-bullying week next week. So again, I'll be posting things about cyberbullying, social media bullying, and all sorts on top of the lung cancer that we'll do. I'll also be talking about alcohol, how to avoid and minimize alcohol, and how we can make a difference with ourselves, and then how we can just try and be us, try and be you, and try and be cool, and try and just stay away from stress, and then thinking about your drinking. So again, like I said, alcohol plays a very big role in terms of risk factors in a lot of these illnesses. And then of course from the 23rd of November onwards, there's going to be the 16 days domestic violence and abuse campaign going on. So we're going to be talking about women empowerment. We're going to talk about violence against women. We're going to talk about violence against children, abuse, etc. I'm going to bring people to the studio, and we'll talk about that. I'm going to bring people to the studio, and I think most of you know them. They've got a show coming up, Family United. We're going to bring them because they're also doing a lot of women empowerment. A lot of their project that they're focusing on is to do with disability, but at the same time empowering disabled people, especially in Sierra Leone, because we know in Sierra Leone, as you see, then you're born disabled or you become disabled, you are null and void. You are no use to society anymore. Society doesn't consider you anymore. Well, they are trying to change that status quo with all other different organizations like DIFSIL. They are all trying to change that status quo and say to people, actually, disability is not an inability, and you can still do a lot when you're disabled. We see it here. We've seen ministers here who are blind. We've seen ministers here who are wheelchair bound. We have managers who are wheelchair bound. We've got managers who have got a limb amputated. We've got so many people. We've got artists. We've got singers. We've got all walks of life who have one type of disability or not, and they're still able to earn their living and carry on with their day-to-day life and live a normal life to a very high level. So why should we not have the same in Sierra Leone? So that is what we're all fighting for and all of that. So next Saturday, as in not this Saturday, next Saturday, meet us at the Borges Park by the Sports Center, Coburg Road and Keats Road at 10 o'clock. After the park run. It's just for 1 hour, 10 to 11, just 1 hour, but believe you me, that will be 1 hour well spent, my brother and sister them. So if you live local and you can come, but even if you don't live local, look, 10 to 11, you know, even if you don't live local, yeah, and you can drive or you can jump off, just look at it as an outing. You can bring the kids. They love it as well. They enjoy it. Let's come and exercise. Let's come and keep fit. Let's come and mingle. Let's come and network. Let's come and show some brotherhood and sisterhood. So thank you so much. Very, very appreciated. Yes, Mr. Weber, in most homes, men are being bullied. Yeah, true. I mean, bullying is not just for women, but that is why I said next week it's anti-bullying week. So let's talk about bullying. Let's talk about different aspects of bullying and see if people can identify and take the necessary actions that they should be taking. So anyway, thank you. Have a blessed evening. But before I go, I just want to mention some of the things that are happening in something very important that is happening in our community. A very, very, very sad situation. Just a week ago now, we lost 2 young boys in our community. I think one is about 26 years old and the one is 19 years old. Both to parents of Sierra Leonean heritage. Very, very sad situations. Let us remember them in our thoughts. Let us remember them in our prayers. It is very sad to lose a child at that age. To lose a child in general, period. So let us think about them, please. And let us remember them in our prayers. May their souls rest in peace. May Allah give them Jannatu Fidaus. And for the parents, may God comfort them. May God give them the strength. May God encourage them to accept this difficult challenge that they've been faced with. So please, let's reach out to them. I don't know much about one of them, but the other one, I think the funeral is going to be sometime next week, God willing. Let us reach out. Let's reach out and support them. They need our support. It can happen to any of us. It can happen to any of us. It is not something to celebrate. It is not something to jubilate. Even if these people were not your best friends or known people, or it's very important. We just take that moment, think about them, and see how best we can support them, because they desperately need our support. They do, you know. So once again, have a very good evening. Have a good weekend. And I'm wishing you all well. And again, if you're not well, if you've got something going on, don't suffer in silence. Talk to someone. We're all available. I think I can vouch for confidentiality a lot of people who have come to me with their challenges and struggles. I think hand on heart, feel comfortable because 2 years not the year. Also we talk and a day they left. So please feel free to come and speak to me. Facebook me, messenger me, tweet me, LinkedIn me, Instagram me, wherever you can find me. Diaspora Voice is me. Mimi, anyone, just find me. Don't suffer on your own. Don't suffer in silence, okay? Love you all. Have a very good evening and a blessed weekend. Thank you.
If you want success, it's not easy, yeah. You get for work from 7 to 5, just forget your daily bread, just to make you survive. Life, yeah, life, yeah. If you want success, it's not easy, yeah. You get for work from 7 to 5, just forget your daily bread, just to make you survive. Ta open it, 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 ta open it. There are funny things about life. Your huggy should be sharper than knife. Believe in yourself and nature will provide. Cause once I go this up I must survive. There are funny things about life. Your huggy should be sharper than knife. Believe in yourself and nature will provide. Cause once I go this up I must survive. Respect my hustle. Hey, my hustle. I go respect your hustle. My hustle. Life, yeah, life, yeah. If you want success, it's not easy, yeah. You get for work from 7 to 5, just forget your daily bread, just to make you survive. Life, yeah, life, yeah. If you want success, it's not easy, yeah. You get for work from 7 to 5, just forget your daily bread, just to make you survive. Ta open it, 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 ta open it.
Family United presents Dinner and Dance, the return of Sekoba Bambino. On the 30th of November 2019 at the Royal Regency Banquet and Suite, 501 High Street North, Manor Park, London, E1260H. For just £50, artists performing on the night will be Colin Spratt, Lollipop, Aisha C, Alonzo, and Firewoods. DJs are going to be DJ Nito, MC Costo, MC Alan Smith, and MC Isatta Sisay-Jalloh. For more information, contact the numbers now showing on your screen. Music by Nubia Knight. Don't forget to join Family United on the 30th of November 2019 at the Royal Regency Hall. Be there.
Come on, Jehovah, say it. Jehovah, you say it. I trust in you. In you. Say it, y'all. Oh, Lord. Jehovah, you. I trust. Say it. I trust. Show me how to do it, y'all. In you. I believe. Say it. Say it.
and brand new collections when they come out every year? Well, finally, Mustuwe Investment, my answer. Mustuwe Investment, where they number 3, Salvage Choir back of Staco Cinema, Dan Lane Junction. Now the right place for you for sure. Mustuwe gets perfect gym trousers them for man and woman. He also gets sandals, slippers, sneakers, and body tops. For ladies, them wear one for always look good. It gets beach wears and bikinis. And get sober shirts them for man. Mustuwe gets original Lacoste, and they sell all type of football supporters jersey from around the world. Mustuwe Investments get original human with one ear, with all length, and they with closure. So for you when you work in an office, you win a bluff man, and you win a businessman, always one for look good. Mustuwe Investments, now the place where you for sure. Mustuwe even they do customized jersey. Contact Mustuwe on 076-620050 or 030-852221. Mustuwe Investments, your place to be.
Thank you, Jesus, for all you will do. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, God. Thank you, Lord, for all you have done. Thank you, Jesus, for all you will do. Thank you for loving me. Thank you for saving me. Thank you for caring. Thank you, Lord. Thank you for loving me. Thank you for saving me. Thank you for caring. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Jehovah God. Thank you, Isatta God. Thank you, my Papa God. Thank you, Lord. Thank you for blessing.
Famous to all the baby where them woke me at, where don't make me feel like say I'm not man enough. I no get nothing for offer. To all me party when look down on me, where don't make me feel like say the life no go become something, yeah. And they walked away. All the people who promise for help me, they say come office today, tomorrow, next tomorrow. The story not just the same, but I refuse to give up. I kept on hoping, I kept believing. Now everything don't change. Me wanna see me life now.
Tramadol, not to food for kids. Alcohol, not to juice. Diazepam, not for sleep. If Jamba no fit you, no smoke out. Exclusive from Benzo Entertainment.
See, I say I want a kind of black man. I say na Kemzo na sharp man. Master planner black man. I say na role model black man. The man behind me success. So, well if you see me at the project.
Man if you poor man, meet up then go fire. Kemzo Entertainment. Man if you poor and poor meet up, then go burn poor. Money me na swag. Money is
Exclusive from Benzo Entertainment.
Say I done school, I know when they get you lunch.
yeah, man. Rosette, Mahmoud. Hey, Baba. Once I know say, me love you one. See I know, yeah. Once I know say, me love you go on. See I know go fear.
At first them say me no liability. They go to the point, doesn't mean I like king. Agree, can see we I don't break free. Addiction like a son in a big legacy. No blame me. No papa got him a lesson, they ask me. Oh, I say believe me. And not to juju, I said that they ask me. So when I been that drunk, nobody no me care for me. Now we are gonna rise up. They still want for make up for do. When I'm in that drunk, nobody no be one for see me. Now we are gonna rise for do. Hey, I want for tell all the bell at them say then go talk to them time. I want for tell all the rich man them say I gonna be defender. Let them talk, some man they pray for and them picking them me. Let them talk, and they put in them talk, they no go ever be me. Now I'm saying troubles go come, troubles go go, me I no care. I like what in them say, I like what in them do, me I no go fair. Once go there by me, I go surely make them. Now that's not me prayer. Oh, once I know say me life they go on, say I go care. Oh, once I know say me life they go on, me I no go fair.
Hey girl, say, guy, so why you for hate me? When me papa na heaven elect me, elect you juju offend me. I dey like a star come embrace me. Yeah, I'm the apple of his eyes. It's not right for me, gotta cry. Not pull me out because me papa he always lie. I'm a shining star, nothing can put me down. I'm a shining star, will always be around.
Troubles will come, troubles go go, me I no care. I like what in them say, I like what in them do, me I no go fair. Once go there by me, I go surely make them. Now that's not me prayer. Oh, once I know say me life they go on, say I go care. Oh, once I know say me life they go on, me I no go fair. Ababa gonna heaven just to give me fame. And not so many people then they lay complain. I bully, I live my life easy. One day at a time me I go kick my game high. Now who that go stop me? When me papa give me bulldozer for bulldozer on me enemy, yeah. Now who that way go stop me? Say, I lift my hands up and thank Jehovah for giving me fame. Hey, I lift my hands up and thank him over again. So give me coolie, one day at a time, oh. So coolie, one day at a time, oh. Troubles go come, troubles go go, me I no care. I like what in them say, I like what in them do, me I no go fair. Once go there by me, I go surely make them. Now that's not me prayer. Oh, once I know say me life they go on, say I no go care. Oh, once I know say me life they go on, me I no go fair.
If you having credit problems, I feel bad for you, son. 1,000 problems, but a car rank 1. Wheels for sure, got me back in the car. Leasing with my credit, I was like, man, forget it. Who would've thought I'd be accepted and more? But now I got the keys, I feel so pleased. All types of cars, Fiats, Minis, Renaults, you know. Boom, boom, let's go. Wheels for sure, car leasing for every credit score.
Fela Kuti dey aso.
Innocent, but it make him a sin. Worldwide.
Oh yeah, pray for me. Mama, pray for me. I'm in the jungle, I want to make money. Oh yeah, pray for me. Papa, pray for me. Oluwa, guide my footsteps in this journey. Oh yeah, pray for me. Pray, 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 pray. Oluwa bless me as I am taking this journey. The road to success, that be something with funny. Sometimes you go day level, sometimes you go stormy. Lord, I depend on you to prepare a table before me. Baba, take me away from this wilderness. Protect me from the things them where you be said that they give man stress. This year my life no sweet, I'm tired with this bitterness. I must make this money, I beg you Baba, make you give access. Oh yeah, pray for me. Mama pray for me. I'm in the jungle, I want to make money. Oh yeah, pray for me. Papa pray for me. Oluwa guide my footsteps in this journey. Oh yeah, pray for me. Pray, 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 pray. As I am going out, Baba please bless my hustle. Give me the courage to move on, strengthen my muscle. As you dey see me so, you don't tell where I dey struggle. My own portion of blessing, I beg make you give me a double. Baba take me away from this wilderness. Protect me from the things them where you be say that they give man stress. This year my life goes sweet, I'm tired with this bitterness. I must make this money, I beg you Baba, make you give access. Oh yeah, pray for me. Mama pray for me. I'm in the jungle, I want to make money. Oh yeah, pray for me. Papa pray for me. Oluwa guide my footsteps in this journey. Oh yeah, pray for me. Pray, 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 pray. Oh yeah, pray for me. Pray, 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 pray.
Family United presents Dinner and Dance, the return of Sekoba Bambino. On the 30th of November 2019 at the Royal Regency Banquet and Suite, 501 High Street, North Manor Park, London, E126TH. For just £50, artists performing on the night will be Colin Spratt, Lollipop, Aisha C, Alonzo, and Firewoods. DJs are going to be DJ Nito, MC Costo, MC Alan Smith, and MC Isatta Sisay-Jalloh. For more information, contact the numbers now showing on your screen. Music by Nubia Knight. Don't forget to join Family United under